Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Live with RYE. I'm your host, RYE, and I am so thrilled you are joining me today. Today is a very special episode because today's episode is pre-recorded. So if you're watching this interview has been pre-recorded, but we are so glad and thrilled that you are still watching this. Thank you for your continued love and support. It means so much to me, and I could not do this without you. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you never miss an episode of Live with RYE, both live and recorded. And if you're joining us on Facebook, hit that thumbs up button or like the post with a heart to give us some support. And be sure to follow me across social media at RYE the News Guy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I love hearing from you, and let's continue the conversation. So I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RYE the News Guy. And finally, you'll see my website scrolling across the bottom of the screen, rydthenewsguy.com. Head on over there to rewatch all episodes of Live with RYE and to see all of my other exclusive content, and including the launch of my new production company, RYE Entertainment. You'll also see my Venmo handle scrolling across the bottom of the screen as well. If you are so inclined, I'd love if you would consider supporting the show Live with RYE and my platform, rydthenewsguy.com. Your support means so much to me. Thank you. And now let's get on with today's show. I'm super excited to talk with my special guest. She has released a new Christmas song and is just an incredible performer. So please help me welcome the fabulous and wonderful Emme Lentino. Hi, Emme.
Hey, darling. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing really well. And oh my goodness, as I was saying earlier, I'm so impressed with you and just so excited by your amazing supportive fans. Honestly. They're like, wherever RYE Guy is, I'm there. It's like fantastic. I love it.
Oh, thank you. I so appreciate that. That means so much. Thank you. Well, Actually, before we begin, why don't we tell the people who are that are watching this, where are you currently? Because you are not in the U.S.
I am not in the U.S., although I have a very strong U.S. accent. No, I live in New Zealand, on the North Island of New Zealand, and that's my home. And it's summer here right now.
So, yes, it's summer there, and if you're watching this, it's Friday evening here in New York City. It's 12 o'clock Saturday there in New Zealand. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yes, I am ahead of time, and I'm seeing your future, and it's bright.
Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you in the future. This is very cool. So tell me about the process of recording Last Christmas and also getting to use the same background singers that George Michael used in his iconic song.
Yeah, so it's a really great story, and I'm still kind of a little bit shocked that it's for real. But to make a long story short, and I don't want to bore everyone with the details, but basically, I've always been a huge fan of George Michael, both as a musician and also just a huge fan of how he lived his life. He was always someone that was hopeful, loving, and kind, and always helping other people out, and that really resonates with me and what I love to do. So that's the first and foremost, is that I'm a big George Michael fan. And then I've always loved Last Christmas as a song that, you can sing along to, you can make it fast or slow, no matter what. It's always a great song. And the opportunity kind of arose where I was in LA working with a project manager who had actually worked with George Michael on the Wham tour. And he knew one of the background singers. And so just so everyone knows, the actual song that Wham produced in 1984 is only George's voice, doing all the melodies and harmonies. He's epic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But all the other music that's come out, of course, are featuring these backup vocalists that were with him for over 25 plus years. So make a long story short, Michael, project manager, says, hey, Emme loves this song. What are the chances of her recording it with you and some fellow backup singers? And she said, well, I'll take it to my team and I'll play her music and we'll see. And they said yes. So, so that's amazing. And so I flew to the UK. The plane lands. I rush to the studio and meet everyone. Meet with Al Clay, Joe Garland, Shirley Lewis, D. Lewis Clay, and Jay Henry. And we recorded the song. And it was the most magical studio experience I've ever had. I really felt this presence of not only George Michael, but the love that we all have for him. And they've never recorded any songs of his with anyone else. So it's, Wow. And I'm really a nobody. So it's like a really big thing that they took a chance on, you know, an indie artist, and but they resonated with my story because I had lost my husband to cancer, and I think there was just this kind of like, okay, here's a woman that is now, you know, in this situation, and she's making the most of it. We get that, and we appreciate that. You know, we want to support that. So that was really special.
It was, and special that they, you know, wanted to support you, and, you know, I don't want to say took the chance on you because you are.
Yeah,
you know,
well, they did, but you know what? They
know.
did that, you know, and and I think that everybody has to have someone take a chance on them, right? Yes. And so I'm really thankful and humbled by the opportunity, and I realized that it was like once in a lifetime. So for that, I'm forever grateful, and I'm so happy that the song is out now for all your viewers to listen to, and the music video is out on YouTube as well, and it got picked up by MTV Australia, which is exciting. Yes, as a little girl, I always wanted my music videos on MTV. It's not anywhere else though, except for in Australia. But so if you're in Australia right now, you can see it. Yeah, so yay!
That's awesome. Yeah, and we can stream. What can we can stream the song, right, or listen to it, or buy it? Or?
You can stream the song on Spotify, and you can listen to it on Amazon Music, iTunes, and Apple. And then obviously, if those don't work for you, you can watch and listen to it on YouTube.
Wonderful. Now, were you, when recording the song, were you worried about the pressures of recording a song that was made famous by an icon such as, you know, George Michael? Was there a little bit of like, wariness, or a little bit of like vulnerability, or like fear of like, I don't, you know, I am singing with the background singers, I don't want to mess it up?
Oh, absolutely. Especially because I was jet lagged when I walked into the studio.
Oh boy.
So, and I mean, if anyone knows what that's like, it's like you basically feel like your face is melting. So I walked into the studio, but I said a prayer before I met them, and I just felt a real peace. And I knew that this was a special opportunity. I didn't want to blow it. So I was probably more excited than nervous, and they were so lovely to me. And so was Al, that, you know, it made me feel at ease. They kind of welcomed me into the fold. So I certainly think that was part of the reason why I felt comfortable.
That's wonderful. And was recorded during the pandemic?
No, this was before the pandemic.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes, so it was a few months before. So that was the other thing that I feel thankful for, that, you know, of course, traveling there now would have been a very, very tricky situation and probably not possible. So I am happy that happened before.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to everyone over in the UK. I know it's been a really tough time with lockdown, and also for New York. So yeah, but I hope this song makes people smile and dance around and celebrate, of course, the amazing George Michael.
It's a great song. I've listened to it. It's done quite well, and you've done a great job with it. So you've also released a new single called Some Other Girl. What was the inspiration behind that new single?
Yeah, so I wrote Some Other Girl. Actually, I was inspired by going through some of my old high school journals. Always an interesting thing, and a bit painful, I might say, looking through that. But I wanted to write a song that captured not only the subject of heartbreak, but also the subject of empowerment and self-identity, and deciding that no matter what something happens that's kind of, you know, such as a breakup is unpleasant, you actually have the power to discover who you really meant to be. So that's kind of the premise of the song. And again, that was recorded with Al Clay as well in London, and an amazing producer. And I co-wrote it with a friend who's based here in New Zealand, and Brian Bell. So, and some more songwriting magic happened when I was in the UK. Al added the bridge, which was awesome.
Oh, that's great. And for those who don't know Al Clay, he's worked with some pretty big artists. I know he's worked with Pink, a few others as well, right? Yes,
Stereophonics, Adam Lambert. He's an amazing producer, because not only is he obviously so skilled at that, but he's got a real soundscape with his as sort of his, I guess, stamp on the stuff he does. He's worked with a lot of big movie productions, such as Peter Rabbit does the music for them. So a lot of the stuff he does, you can actually hear it in the way that he captures the essence of the song. He does lots of bells and whistles in the background that maybe could be easily missed, but he's got it there. So yeah. Shout out to Al as well. He's such a lovely guy.
Oh, that's wonderful. How has writing music helped you through some of the dark times in your life? You mentioned about, unfortunately losing your husband. How has writing music for you sort of helped you and sort of helped you to heal and be cathartic for you?
I think music for me has always been a healing instrument, even before the loss of my husband. I've gone through lots of challenges, as we all have. And for music to be something that I could turn to, I was very thankful to. Sometimes I don't know how to express my feelings except in a song. And so for me, it sometimes is actually discovering how I really feel about something. And it's embedded in the lyrics or in the melody. So I'm really thankful that it's an outlet. And I also think that it brings people together from all over the world. Music's a universal language. And especially now, more than ever in 2020, it is a way that we can all virtually be together. And I think that music can be the most healing thing in the world. And I love that.
I love that too. And it is healing, and it can heal all problems and heal all hearts. Music does bring us together. Now, tell me, because I'm interested, what brought you to the path to New Zealand? How did you end up in New Zealand?
Yeah, so I came to New Zealand about 10 years ago because I fell in love, not only with someone from here, but also obviously the beautiful country that it is. And then after Tony passed away, I decided to stay here and continue having this be my home. And I became a citizen, which was a really amazing experience. And I still remember the ceremony where they call out your name and then they say, wherever you're from, if you're from Canada or US or India, we're going to say the country and then we want you to yell. And it's quite subdued here, right? So I was always like trying to keep my big personality kind of contained. Well, I let it all out when they said America. I was like, woo! Just like a Texas cheerleader. And there's a picture that my friend took of me from behind where it's like the exact moment of the hands up. And I was like, and that is pretty much how I felt becoming a citizen. Yeah, so very cool.
And so I'm curious too, because being that you're New Zealand, which is the country I'm dying to visit, it's a country that currently I believe has no COVID cases and has really risen and been the prime example of a country that has handled this pandemic so well. What has it been like for you as an artist? And with also not having any cases, are you performing like you normally would be? Are there, are you doing, events or festivals? Are they having sort of the experiences that musicians would have when COVID isn't happening? How has it affected you as an artist?
Yeah, so I think that probably in the beginning of everything, when we were in a very, very strict lockdown twice. So there was no going anywhere, and we are a very small nation. It's only 5 million. So a lot of things were able to be contained, and they also have a very strict quarantine rule where if people fly in, whether they're a citizen or not, they stay in managed isolation in a quarantine facility for 14 days. And that's a mandate. So I think kind of early on we were limited with cases, but we still have them, but it is contained. And our prime minister has done a very good job of making sure that things are handled with kindness. And I really appreciate that. And yeah, but in terms of performing, yes, we are able to now perform in venues and festivals. And I have been doing some of those, especially at Christmas time. You want to sing to people. I go into hospice and rest homes, and I'm singing in lots of places and also gigging in pubs. But I just love how at Christmas time people are quite, I think, open to happiness and wanting a little bit of festivity. So I have like a little, you're going to laugh. I have like a Christmas bag that I bring with me. I have glitter. I have candy canes. I have cards and then lots of songs. So it's been really fun.
That's so sweet. And I apologize, I misspoke. I didn't realize there were still some cases there. I thought it was, there was no cases. So
no, that's okay. Yeah,
thank you for correcting me, because I want to make sure I get that right. That's so special that you're able to do all that. And boy, that must feel, an out of body experience to be able to do that. What I would give and I yearn for the music and entertainment back in this country, to be able to go to festivals again, concerts, and see our artists perform again. And it's much needed. And I hope at the end of this that there will be an even more of a resurgence of people who are even more hungry for that stuff, to want to do it and everything, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And because Broadway is pretty much shut down at the moment. Is that right?
It is. It is for the foreseeable future. Yes, at least until the end of May. They say.
Oh,
So
wow. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah,
Uh, I used to live in New York, and it's yeah, my heart really goes out to you guys because it is such a beautiful place,
it
and I
is.
love the people there, and I got to see the musical Beautiful.
Oh,
I was
yes.
there, and oh, makes me want to cry just thinking about it. But there's such a beautiful spirit of performing there. So I'm with you. I
Yes.
hope it returns with even a bigger, what's the word, support than
Yes.
it's had.
I hope so. I hope so too. You know, I work in that field. I work in the producing field, so I certainly hope so as well. And I think it will. I mean, it seems from what we've gathered is that people are very much excited and are hungry for
Yeah.
live arts, and they missed it. And I think you know, people who once took it for granted are now eager for, you know, live performance to come back. And I'm very excited to see when it returns. You know, what kind of projects we get out of it, what kind of new artists emerge, what kind of new shows emerge, and you know, New York is not New York without Broadway. So until that comes back, it's certainly much different here, you know. So we hopefully soon.
Wow, I love what you said. That's totally a song right there. New York isn't New York without Broadway. I
Oh,
felt like we were like I felt like we were like starting to be, New
oh,
York
that's
is not New York without Broadway. Da, da, da.
love that. Well, it is true. It's very true. Um, what advice do you have for other aspiring artists, independent artists who want to write their own songs, have written their own songs and really don't know how to get produced, or just don't even know where to begin?
Yeah, my advice for anybody that's either an up and coming artist or maybe someone that's revisiting the arts again after some time, I think the first thing I would suggest is that, it's never too late. Keep writing. Make sure that you register your songs with a local society such as BMI, ASCAP, or in this case, APRA over on the side of the world. It's really important. You just never know when you've got a gem of a song, and by registering it, it opens up doors. I think also don't be afraid to play in front of as many people as possible. It could be, in your living room. It could be virtually. I think the more that you share music, the more joy is transmitted, whether it's through the screen or in person. And it also makes you feel good. And then I would say that probably the final thing is that when you want to get something produced or recorded, it's really important to know what you want. It's great that you have songs, but I think you really need to make a plan, and you need to know, okay, I have a budget and I really would love to work with so-and-so, or these are the sounds that I want to capture, and really have that kind of set up. And this is speaking from experience because I haven't always done that. And I've kind of learned the hard way, or I've been like, that would have been a good thing to do first. So, so I'm actually speaking from, I wish that someone had told me that. So yeah, I think just keep doing what you're doing. Never give up. It's never too late. Music is healing, and you have my full support. Heart.
That is beautiful. So supportive and so beautiful. And before we go, where can we keep up with you?
Yes, you can keep up with me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, all under Emme Lentino. As far as I know, I'm the only one right now. Yay. And then you can also go to my website, which is emmelentino.com, and keep up with me there as well. And please say hi. I always try to answer everyone. And it's I always think it's really an honor when people have so many things to do throughout their day and so many people to listen to, that they take the time to connect with me. It means a lot.
Wow, so humble. I totally agree. I'm in that same mindset. I think that's special. And don't ever lose that.
I won't. I promise.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to speak with me. This was such a great conversation, and I was so happy to learn more about you and about the song. And for those listening, be sure to, as we get into we're in the holiday season, listen to Last Christmas, whether you stream it or purchase it. It's a great song. It's done incredibly well, and the new version is just incredible. So thank you so much, Emme, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And thanks again for having me on your show.
My pleasure.